Well, here I am working on this 2019 Chevy Colorado. You can see it's about 8:30 in the morning by the length of my shadow there. But yeah, I had this thing was a rollover. The guy lives in Wisconsin. That's about 60 miles. He lives about 60 miles east of me, and he wanted to know about if I could repair this thing for him, and I didn't want to do it, but he kind of talked me into it. And I should have told him no. He couldn't find anyone in his area wanted to do it either. I guess that must mean they're smarter than me. I don't know. But the thing when it went over, it blew both airbags, and I pulled up. I was going to replace that roof. And I was pulling it up. It was about squashed down maybe 6 inches further down, and I pulled a lot of it up. But yeah, I don't really know for sure what happened, if that bumper was from something else, or if that was part of the crash, if he was pulling a trailer when it went in the ditch, or how that worked. But the bumper's all smashed up too. I pulled it out quite a bit, but yeah, the box is all caved in. It was in about 6 inches, and I pulled it out a lot. It was way over here, and I pulled it back, and I think I'll be able to save that there. I'm finding out it's insanely expensive to repair these things, like $2,000 for a used box, and yeah, there's your cab. And like I say, it blew both airbags out, and I pulled the airbags out of the ceiling in it, and my like I say, pretty decent truck before it got wrecked. I pulled up the hood quite a bit, but I'll see if I can pop open this hood here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll get into the interesting part of my video now. So I called over to the junkyard, and I talked to the guy at the boneyard, and I was asking him about getting a roof for that thing, and he didn't have anything on hand. And then he calls me back a little bit later, and he goes, "I have a black cab. I found one for you, $1,500, and real nice cab. Got good glass in it." And he'd sell me this cab, and I'm like, well, yeah, that'd be a good deal, if you could sell me this cab, and I could just unbolt the cab off of this truck and bolt this cab onto it. And you can see the dog, he barks at shadows over there. What a fool. And yeah, if you could sell me that cab and put it on that frame, that'd be a good deal. Then I wouldn't have to mess with that roof. So the guy goes, "Oh yeah," and I says, "Yeah, I just want to be able to take the bolts out of that one and bolt this one on." So, what do you think what do you think happens when they bring it over? The front end's cut off. They cut it off with a saw. You can see the front end was all smashed in on this cab. So they cut it off here where it was smashed the worst, and cut it off there was smashed the worst. Well, the reason that I wanted the cab, that I could just unbolt that one and bolt it onto this frame, is because if you look at this right here where I'm pointing, you can see it's all caved down. When the thing came down on here, it pushed this corner down. So that's why I thought, well, I'll just bolt that cab on, take this wreck stuff off, unbolt it right here, take this wreck stuff off. It's all one piece, both sides. Lift it off, put that one on, be done. Nope. They chopped the front end off. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to use that front end or not, or I mean use this cab or not, because the guy will have to drill out all these spot welds and take this off and put that bent one back and put that bent one on here. Now, does that make a lot of sense? I don't know. Doesn't seem to make much sense to me. So, and then when I was talking to the guy, I says, that one over there's got the airbags that are blown, and I says, does this cab got good airbags? The guy goes, well, it's got one good airbag, and the other airbag, we took it off, so or they sold one airbag, but the other airbag is still good in it yet. So they bring it over, and it's got both airbags are blown. And I'm finding out that when they took this cab off, they of course cut all the wires off instead of unbolting them. Or and just, all you got to do is just unsnap these here. But no, they just took some kind of something and cut these off. Well, that's not so bad up there. That's not that big a deal. But they cut off they cut off all of these, so which means that all those wires that these are hooked to, they're all buried in there. There's another one right here, and they all go into the main wiring harness. So that means I have to completely pull out this whole wiring harness, and I don't think you can pull it out without taking the dash off. So I don't really know if this cab is really any good or not. See, you can see they cut them all off, and yeah. So, and like I say, your wiring harness, that's all buried back there. Here's your shaft for the steering gear. That's where they pull the steering wheel out. And I got my helper here trying to help. And yeah. See, now how hard would it have been to unhook these fasteners here? But nope, they cut them off, and it's smart. And so, and then, like I say, here's your main wiring harness that goes through here, and I don't know if they busted off on any of these or not. They ripped them right out of there though. And yeah, this whole wiring harness, I think all the way, I think this whole thing is all one piece. You can see the idiots. This went in here. That was part of your seats, and yeah, and oh, and then then the door, that got really interesting too. I talked to the guy. I said, this thing, it needs, I'll go around the other side here. The door was interesting too. This thing's got a wrecked rear door where it was rolled over and busted the glass in it. So I says, how much for a used door? I called in Faribault at the junkyard there, and they had two doors that they could sell me for $300 each, and they were a little bit scuffed up, but not bad shape. For $300 each, I had to do a little work on them. And then I called them over at Viking, or over at the other junkyard, and I said, how much for a used door? And they said, do you have a good one off that black cab over there? Yeah, the guy says, yeah, I'll sell you one for $800 or for $700. It's a good door and it's black. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not too bad a deal. I'd just be able to just put the door on. So I said, yeah, that's not so bad. So then what do you think shows up? A silver door, $700. Faribault wanted $300 for a white one. Had a little scuff, but it was $300. This outfit sold me this one for $700, and it comes over silver. So needless to say, I was kind of mad. So I called him up, and man, I was more than a little bit mad. I was steaming pretty good, and I kind of got on his case, which I probably shouldn't have done so much, but oh, no, we'll find you a black one in Canada. And I'm like, well, what happened to the black one that was on this cab? And And he says, oh, that thing was junk. And I was like, well, you showed me a picture of it, and it was a nice door when it was on the cab. And he goes, oh, no, they did have some hidden damage, so the workers threw it in the trash. I'm like, well, but he said he's going to find me another one. $700 for a door, and it's not even the right color. So there you go.